Greetings, welcome to OG Foundation. This is the first video of the fall season. It'll probably be the only video of the fall season. Maybe there'll be two, we'll see. And what I have done is gotten materials for this woodshed here. Just unloading them now, but that'll be the first project I focus on, so that wood for the gate tower can be out of the elements. And I'll just show you what the space looks like before beginning, which is this space right here. So I had built this rock retaining wall, I think last year. And so this little kind of terraced area is where the woodshed will be, over here, with the roof sloping off to shed the water. And we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna wing it as far as how I set it all up. And I think it'll just be posts right on the dirt or on some stone, or maybe with little tracks underneath the posts, but it's gonna be really simple. No sooner did November come than did the snow. Or perhaps it would be better to say that November brought the snow with it. Pizza tree's sad today. Gonna be losing them leaves. You can see how good the insulation is over here, simply by where the snow has melted. Where the snow hasn't melted, the insulation is good. Where the snow has melted, it's not insulated. Sleepy day. So I'm doing some speed framing. The posts, as you can see, are just sitting on pieces of tracks. And I'm doing this as fast and simple as possible. About to use the chainsaw to cut the vertical posts, and then I'll screw the bottom part of the rafters, and then I'll put the strapping on, and then I'll put the tin on. Quick and easy. So maybe an hour or two later, I don't know, I think I started at like 1, it's like 4 p.m. and time for the tin. So it's the end of the day, and woodshed project is complete. Got some recycled pieces of trim board to put up top, and the last piece of that recycled particle board on the front to help keep humidity out, but more importantly to help keep the wind out, because there's nothing really holding this thing down other than its own weight. And so that piece of particle board will be very important to make sure this thing doesn't turn into a sail and blow away. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I had bought basically the perfect amount of lumber, super simple. I had the X on the back. That was like a 2x10, or yeah, I think a 2x10, maybe a 2x12, or a 12-foot 2x10 or something like that. But it had split down the middle, so they couldn't use that on the job site. But I just used both lengths of it down the middle, and it works really well for that. And yeah, it's ready for wood for the winter. I'll probably tomorrow, I'll probably end up closing up the sides just a little bit more, so that wind coming in from the side also can't really catch the roof from underneath. So with whatever kind of spare materials I have, I'll just kind of throw them in there. But that's it for the woodshed project complete. Check it out, I fortified it. So I used every last piece of scrap that I have sitting around and integrated it into the structure, which fortifies it in two ways, two birds with one stone. So on the one hand, it prevents the wind from being able to get up in here and get some lift. And then on the other hand, all of this is weight, which weighs it all down, because as I said before, you can see the 4 posts are just sitting on pieces of tracks and nothing's anchored down. But yeah, all of these scrap pieces and just random things that have accumulated around here, all free. I mean, obviously I have to use some screws to fasten it all in, but it makes a really big difference as far as like even just standing in here when the wind's blowing. I don't feel the wind in here, and it'll prevent any kind of, like, when it's snowy and windy, it'll prevent a lot of the snow from blowing in here as well. So there's plenty of space in here for probably, imagine 2 cords of wood, I think, which is more than enough for the gate tower. And basically you can just dump the wood where I'm parked there, and then toss it into the hole down to here, and then stack it up. And this is all ready for wood for the winter. So now it's actually complete. But it's actually quite satisfying. Like, it kind of probably looks pretty trashy, but this is kind of like an epitome of the Earthship style of using recycled materials. So all of this stuff is just trash, but the trash is transformed into this dual value, like I said, of wind blocking and weight to hold it all down. So I'm happy with it. And then at some point, of course, so there's screws, I can take it all apart, I can reuse the screws, so it's not like the screws are permanently used. And at some point I was thinking this might even be a nice little, if it wasn't a woodshed, and if it was extended, maybe 3 feet on either side, this would be a nice little spot here, looking out over there. If you cleared out all that, put some windows there, put some windows up here, and then, I mean, this is kind of an idea I had, that eventually, I mean, there's another terrace there, and then I could, like, extend it going that way years into the future, so this could be a longer structure. But anyways, that's all for this year, and for now it'll be great utility for a woodshed. So after a week or two of rest, relaxation, and cold, dreary weather, got a nice, clear, sunny day. So today I'm going to work on this project over here. I had put this landscaping fabric down, but it's not properly sloped. It's pretty well sloped, but I really wanted all of that to drain all the way out to here. So what I'm going to do is bucket that stone over here, move those things out of the way, and then I'll get the stone sloped, and then I'll add a second layer of landscaping fabric on top of that with the proper slope, and then I'll put more stone on top of that to weigh it all down. So after, I think, 16 buckets carried about 100 yards through a gauntlet obstacle course, this is all sloped. So now I will put down the second layer of landscaping fabric and then get to more stone, moving more stone. So another 16 buckets through the gauntlet, and the second layer of landscaping fabric is covered. And I feel a lot more confident about this area shedding water now, which, being in the center of all this stone work, will reduce the water that gets in and then the ice, and basically it sheds to right here. And there's a hole in between those 2 tires, which I'm just going to dig that out a little and maybe even put a pipe in and make a little channel for the water to flow out of there. And then I was thinking I might end up doing a similar project right here along this kind of alley on this side, and put landscaping fabric down, and then have this run at the very least away from that structure. It's already sloped away though, but to put the landscaping fabric will prevent a good bit of penetration getting into the ground. But that'll be for another day. Happy with the results for today, and got a good workout. What happened to you? I know. You're all bloody. Why are you all bloody? You gonna fight? What happened, buddy? You okay? Where are you bleeding from? Huh? Seems like he's alright. Here's Art. Oh. boy. Dino and Butterscotch had it out. Who won? Dino won. Well, that Butterscotch isn't cooked. That's roosters for you. They get all bloody biting it out. It is December 18th, 3 days before the solstice. So whereas 3 days after, we basically celebrate Christmas, the rebirth of the sun after the peak darkness. 3 days before the solstice, that's Arthur, is the opposite. It's almost when it seems most dank and dire and depressing, because the days are still getting shorter and it's not clear that they'll ever get longer again, not until we reach that solstice. And it's been raining a lot the last 24 hours and all day today. And it's really tested all of my drainage stuff. You can see over here there's a little bit of standing water. And basically the water level of the ground has risen to a point where there's one area in the entryway in between the kitchen and the water feature where the ground water level is about 6 inches deep. So I've been bailing it out. The earth ship is most ship-like when I have to bail water out of it, because it's like a ship at sea amidst a storm taking on water, where it's not really that catastrophic if I don't bail it out, but it's definitely best that I do. So it's given me something to do, whereas it's been very slow otherwise. But everyone's doing good. I'm eating eggs every day. Chicken's still giving me about 4 eggs a day on average, 4 or 5 eggs a day. And a couple of them I try to hide them. If I keep them in the air all day, like when it's snowy, I might get 6 or 7 eggs. And if I let them out early, I might only get 3. But yeah, that's all for now for this update. Just a lot of rain. This is where I was bailing out some of the water here, but I upgraded my intelligence, and instead of bailing it, I used the pump, which was for circulating to the water feature, and now it's just pumping the water right into the water feature, and then the overflow from the water feature drains out through the pre-existing drain. Rona has poopied up the drawbridge here. She's been living in this room on her own. And today was such a warm day, I had all the doors open and I was airing it out because it was warmer outside than inside in this area. But, yeah, there's the water coming out of that, basically pumping the groundwater into the water feature. Much smarter than bailing it out. So I'm down here at the water feature, or in here, and I just realized that it's low. It's like 6 inches below the drain pipe, and there's really no reason it should be. It should be at the level of the drain pipe. So that's really concerning, that there might be a leak or something. But I mean, nothing's happened where there really ought to have been a leak. But I don't know, it's just, that's worrying. It should be one solid piece of EPDM in this whole thing. If there is a leak, it's gonna be troubling. So in that last rain, there was water filling up over here, and it's possible that could have been leaking out of there, but That'll be pretty disastrous if that's the case. We'll see. So the only explanation I can come up with is that a critter from behind the EPDM has gnawed its way through it to where the water level is now, causing it to drain the difference between where the drain pipe is and the water level, because otherwise there's no reason why it wouldn't be full. There's no other exit for the water. So that's going to be a problem. And basically it's going to mean, I just hate these critters. They're so tenacious. But I'm probably going to have to buy a whole another piece of EPDM, which is like $300. I'm going to have to redo a ton of work for one little critter gnawing a little hole. But we'll see for sure next time it rains. If it doesn't fill up to that... If it doesn't fill up to the drain pipe and it just floods in here again, then I'll know that's the case. And then I'll have to basically pump all the water out and move the fish into another thing. All for one little critter. It's early morning. Now we got progress. I've figured out I'm going to manage this water feature solution. This is where Verona sleeps up here. And the progress is this dead culprit. That's all. It's not all. Another dead culprit. Look at this. Trap number 3. They got the cheese. And they didn't die. 2 out of 3. So this is the last update of the fall harvest season into the beginning of the winter. Getting some use out of this wood shed here. It's a rainy late December day. It's actually Christmas today. Christmas Day. And Dino's doing good. Him and Butterscotch haven't fought again since that one time. And the only other update, here's Kudo over here drinking out of a tire. Wisdom son. The only other update is over here. Just the wood pile. You can see haven't really touched the pile on the right. Oh, there's a chicken above me, I think. There's a chicken out there? What are you doing out there, chicken? Ah. Naughty girl. So I've been working on this wood pile. It looks like there's maybe still about a cord left, maybe a little less than a cord. And that should get me at least through to February. And I'll get onto this pile over here, which is pretty big, at least a cord, if not more. So we're all set for firewood. And that's about the last update for the fall. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll check in again probably at the end of winter. Come the beginning of spring, I might have a video or two, like vlog videos, or maybe on the Allodium channel, but this will probably be the last project kind of update video. And I figured out an action plan for the water feature through there. And I'm essentially going to see if I can find the hole and plug the hole rather than replace the whole EPDM. And that's kind of the action plan. So I've got a strategy, and that's encouraging. And that's all for now. See you later.